split frequently. And then I noticed one day I was just like persistently flicking the top corner of my sleeve while I was holding my hand. And I was just like, oh, I should probably not do this. Okay,
yeah.
So we have a match now, folks.
All right. Yeah, but so I think it's a good thing to learn to shuffle for your own sake, but also for your opponent's sake.
Right. So Edgar starts off with an island and a preordain.
At Grand Prix DC, my first round opponent, I had brand new sleeves. He broke 3 of my sleeves shuffling in for game 1. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous. You just broke 3 of my sleeves. I didn't say that, but I was just like, all right, dude, you need to learn how to shuffle with sleeves because now I need to go get new sleeves already after round 1. Funny. And it was because of him, not
it's
me.
Not funny, but it's just like ridiculous.
It is funny. I thought it was funny too, but I was just like, I can't believe that just happened.
So catching up on the action, Andrew Steckley played a Terramorphic Expanse, turn 1. Edgar played a Plains and passed, and end of turn, Andrew fetched for Forest.
Right.
I think that might be the first time in the 2 weeks we've been doing this that I've put you back on track.
I was just finishing my statement while we were just on turn 1.
It's just funny. I was like,
less interesting turns here.
Oh, these are plenty interesting turns.
Well, you know what I mean. Before things got really heated. Wow, that was weird.
Nobody can see the high five. I don't want to just make an unnecessary noise.
Right, so here we go, Andrew, with the mountain. Not anymore.
We don't have any.
So, for those of you just tuning in, I'm Joey Pasco here with Big Head Joe, covering the quarterfinals of the StarCityGames.com Memphis Open Series in standard. On Saturday, the standard portion of it. Edgar Flores on the right playing blue-white classic version of Callblade.
And probably very relevantly playing a Tectonic Edge here on turn 3.
Right, versus Andrew Steckley's Valakut list.
Yes.
Now, Edgar, notably, this is his 3rd consecutive top 8 at Star City Games Standard Open Series.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, more than pretty. It's extremely impressive.
Yeah.
Guy's only been playing since M10.
So he searched up a Sword of Body and Mind.
With his Stoneforge Mystic. Now, he was talking about that earlier. He changed his list slightly to include all 3 equipment. He's playing Silbach Lifestaff, Sword of Body and Mind, and Sword of Feast and Famine, all main deck. None in the sideboard.
Now, Sword of Body and Mind, he searched that up here because he can. Well, the mill is very relevant against Valakut because he can mill out mountains and sometimes just
and that just turns the Valakuts off entirely.
Right.
Like Valakut's no longer itself. Valakut, the card, is no longer relevant because there aren't enough mountains to ever trigger it.
Right.
So that's like huge.
Potentially, you know.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
sometimes
It doesn't always happen,
but
right?
yeah.
But it is huge. Now we don't have the deck lists right now just to see specifically how many mountains Andrew is running, but you know, the fact that Sort of Body and Mind can potentially do something like that, it's very significant. So,
searches up double forest here.
Andrew going with the Harrow for the double forest. Now, just to give you guys a rundown of the top 8 real quick, we get Jerry Thompson in first place, Jody Keith in second place, Edgar Flores, Joey Mispagel, David McDarby, and Andrew Steckley, Robert Graves, and Bobby Alexi. That is your top 8. We will be featuring the quarterfinals, or the semifinals tomorrow. We are covering the quarterfinals now, and the semifinals and the finals will be tomorrow morning.
Daylight savings time.
Exactly. Please be aware that
Spring
tonight
forward.
is daylight savings time, so you spring your clocks forward by an hour. So, he tried to play a lightning bolt as a land by accident.
Unless you're watching this in the archived coverage, in which point don't set your clocks forward an hour if you're just watching this randomly.
Good call. So Edgar drops via vials in the sword there with the Stoneforge Mystic, and he also now knows that Andrew has a lightning bolt, which is significant. You know what I mean? Like that's. You know, now he knows that he can try to draw out that lightning bolt by attempting to equip, which, you know, I don't know if that's what he's headed to do right here or not. Now, what is that? Is that a Squadron Hawk? I assume it is. It looks like a white card, and he's searching his deck. We're going to see if it's a Squadron Hawk or a Stoneforge Mystic, depending on what he grabs.
Find out very shortly.
Yeah. Was it a Squadron Hawk? Okay. Rashad says
Hawk.
it is a Squadron Hawk.
Hawk.
So hopefully that is a Squadron Hawk, otherwise he's getting the wrong kind of card. So he says, just swings in with the Squire. You know, knowing that Andrew has that lightning bolt, he's, you know,
why waste the 2 mana to equip?
Right. Well, he's basically like, I've got a Squadron Hawk. He's got 2 guys that he can equip it to now. So next turn, he can draw out the Lightning Bolt by attempting to equip it, and then then try to equip it again if he wants. I mean, that's an option. He's leaving that open.
Sure.
The other matchups right now in the top 8 are Jerry Thompson versus Bobby Alexi, Jody Keith versus Robert Graves, and Joey Mispagel versus David McDarby. So Andrew now with 4 mountains.
Adds a counter to his Colony Heart Expedition.
Looks like a perfect place for a Primeval Titan, but not there, so looks like Andrew's only got 3 cards in his hand. Edgar looks like he's got a full grip, including a Jace the Mind Sculptor. I believe I saw a Spell Pierce in there.
There's a Silvok Life Staff.
Yeah, Silvok Life Staff, and probably 3 Squadron Hawks. That's that may be the rest of his
likely.
hand. Yeah, well. Alright, so there he goes. Draws out the Bolt, which he did happen to see when Andrew accidentally tried to play it as a land. Well, he wasn't trying to play the Lightning Bolt as a land.
Right, he just accidentally put it down.
Right, in place of a land.
I think that'd be a little obvious.
Yeah. There's the master, Edgar Flores. He's got the option right here to try to equip that Hawk, or to play another Hawk, or to go with something different. Okay, that's what he's gonna do. He says, "I'm gonna equip the Hawk. Do you have another Bolt?" Nope. All right. Oh, he does have another Bolt this time. He says, "I'll just bolt it after you equip it."
Of course.
Makes sense. Of course, since the Stoneforge Mystic would not have died to the Bolt if it had been equipped.
Andrew's cracking the Colony Heart Expedition. Grab another Forest. He must have Avenger. No, Avenger only costs 2. I always think that it costs 3 green for some reason.
Did Edgar just discard a
Squadron
he ended
Hawk.
his turn, discarded a Squadron Hawk, so...
Yeah.
I guess that's maybe one of the reasons he was kind of thinking about that, was that he knew that he's going to have to discard. So here's an Avenger of Zendikar.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one, but notably none of those tokens fly, so, and Edgar does have the Day of Judgment.
He has the day.
Which he just shows to Andrew.
Drops it down.
And Avenger of Zendikar goes away, along with all his little plant buddies. So,
Sorry for the pause there.
Yeah,
the
judges keep coming over looking for deck lists, but we don't have them.
We haven't got your deck lists, man.
Took a second to try to look through our stuff, but
And
there's
here
a
comes
Terastodon. I don't know that Edgar has an answer for that right now.
Can't spell pierce that.
Yeah. Oh, so he's Summoning Trap. That was the
okay.
card that I missed because it was looking for a deck list.
Attention, legacy players.
lands.
If you have not done so already, please report to the judges station to collect your prize.
So yeah, he takes out 3 of Edgar's lands,
If you have a prize
but gives him
coming,
3
please report
elephants.
to the judges station at this time.
Edgar's going to preordain now. He's going to try to dig for some lands, which I think he may have just hit at least one. I'm having a little trouble seeing. He's leaving them both.
Pretty sure he's taking a point or
So
it's
an
island.
Right. May have been 2 lands. I think they're both full art lands. It's tough to tell with the foils there. So he does have a second Day of Judgment, not necessarily working in his favor at this particular board state. But
I'd love to see him bounce the Terastodon with Jace. Swinging for 9.
Andrew going for a second Summoning Trap.
And gets a Primeval Titan off of
Primeval
it.
Titan, yeah. Now, unfortunately, I believe Edgar does have a Spell Pierce, but it's not really, doesn't really do so well when.
And you got 3 mana.
Yeah, when he's got 3 mana up, exactly. So there he grabbed the Valakut and the Mountain and took out one of the elephants that Terastodon provided. So yeah, I'll chump block your Terastodon.
He's got to find a. He's got to play.
Ladies and gentlemen, just letting you know that the sales booth will be closing shortly.
There's
if
the
you
day.
wish to make any last-minute purchases tonight, or if you wish to sell any cards tonight, please come on over now.
So yeah, there's
you have approximately 10 minutes. After that, we will be open when the doors are open in the morning. Thank you.
So Day of Judgment clears the board, makes things a little bit better for Edgar there. But Andrew's got a ton of land in play right now, including 5 mountains and a Valakut.
So he spell pierced the Explorer, probably just to get him to pay, to keep him off of infinite mana.
Right on.
Plays another Valakut.
Here's probably a Harrow or Cultivate. Yeah.
Cultivate's
Again, we don't have the deck lists, so.
You need to tell the judges that we don't have the deck lists.
Yeah.
Sisters up 2 mountains, is going to deal 6.
Now, Edgar does have Tectonic Edge.
He does.
Although he's a little bit mana screwed right now because of the Terastodon.
Wasn't there an edge? I mean, wasn't there a Valakut out before? Did he edged or no?
I didn't catch him edging anything earlier, but I could be absolutely wrong. You know, I could have missed it because I only saw one Tectonic Edge ever played. So
and a Harrow. Wow. Okay.
Yikes! So this is gonna.
And that'll do it.
This is gonna hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Wow. So. Shows you the power of Valakut.
Yeah.
But it was the Terastodon, I think, that really made a huge difference.
Terastodon really came down.
Yeah. Edgar had so much to play with and just couldn't play with it. Couldn't do it, so. Now, you know, again, no deck list here, so we can't look and speculate as to their sideboards, but, you know, I'd venture a guess and say Edgar's probably going to cut the Life Staff.
Well, he did tell us what his sideboard was, right?
Yeah, but they were all white cards. It was like Ousts and Celestial Purge, I believe.
Probably wouldn't bring the Purge in. We didn't see any red spells
or red
creatures that whole game. Yeah. Okay, so we have a
giveaway right now. Yeah.
Giveaway for 3 months of StarCityGames.com Premium. So you have to answer a question on Twitter with the hashtag SCG Premium. See, the hashtags are much easier now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to tweet the question, and then we're going to read it. So.
Okay, sounds good. Joey has a question that's probably significantly less obscure than the ones we came up with 2 weeks ago. The nickname. You mean
Rashad just pointed out the fact that Jace is there on the back left.
Maybe he was fate sealing Edgar that game. I'm just kidding. He's back there working his magic. Did Edgar say he had Leyline in his sideboard?
All right, you want to read the question?
Yeah, so the question is, what is the nickname of the deck Jerry T is playing in the top 8 of Star City Games Tennessee, based on a 90s cartoon?
So you can tweet that at SCG Live with the hashtag SCG Premium. We've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of correct answers coming in right away. Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous. Not to be confused with Everybody Get Dangerous from Weezer's Red Album.
Or, what is I think the Cool as Ice song had that phrase in it too, from the Vanilla Ice movie, yeah.
I just watched that movie for the first time a couple weeks ago. Terrible movie. Awful movie.
So just to give you guys an update from MTG Mom, getting information from her correspondence in the room. Joey Mispagel won Game 1 over David. Andrew won Game 1 versus Edgar, obviously, as you just saw. That, you know, it's the fact that Terastodon took out so many of Edgar's lands basically kept him from being able to use that Tectonic Edge on the Valakut. So, you know, the card, you know, that we have kind of focused on as one of the reasons that Edgar is doing so well, and not only in the mirror, but against decks like Valakut, and the reason that this deck is kind of set up to do well against Valakut. Edgar wasn't, first, the reason this deck does well against Valakut is it puts on early pressure.
Right.
But Edgar wasn't really able to do too much of that.
Yeah.
Andrew had double bolt for both times he tried to equip, and I believe he did, you know, what was it? The Stoneforge Mystic ate a bolt, and the Squadron Hawk ate a bolt. So when Edgar tried to put on the pressure, Andrew had the answers for it. And then with the Terastodon, kept Edgar from being able to use the Tectonic Edge, which was, you know, the other reason that this deck is set up to do well against Valakut. So Andrew doing a really good job of making sure, you know, at least in that game, Edgar could not capitalize on his trump cards.
Right. Yeah, Terastodon was huge, no pun intended.
Exactly. I mean, and then the fact that he can take him out with Valakut, you know, with mountains and Valakut. All right, so looks like Edgar is taking a look at his hand. Couldn't quite see. I see Glacial Fortress. I see a Plains, Glacial Fortress. I definitely saw a sword of some sort.
I've never heard of a sword of some sort.
A sword of some sort. That's the next sword. It's a sword of protection from artifacts and colorless, I think.
Protection from instants and planeswalkers.
Yeah. Alright, so Edgar leads with a Glacial Fortress tapped. Andrew with the mountain, and Edgar has the yeah, there's the Plains. And here's the Squadron Hawk. Turn 2 Squadron Hawk from Edgar Flores. Going to get a pal.
Maybe a couple.
Kyle Huckabee, if you're still in the room, you can collect your prize from the Legacy Challenge. Kyle Huckabee.
Well, according to that announcement, Drew Levin did not win the Legacy Challenge. Unless that was just another prize, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, so he plays his Hawk. And Andrew draws a card and discards an Avenger of Zendikar. No second land draw.
Wow. That seems really significant from a Valakut deck. Now, you know, if he had discarded a Vengevine, I would have been shocked in a completely different reason. Or a Bloodghast, for that matter. But, you know, Avenger of Zendikar doesn't come back. So there's Edgar with the Preordain on his turn 3. So I think he may be digging for land as well, to be honest. He did put them both on the bottom. Top deck's Day of Judgment.
No, he's got a Tectonic Edge.
There's his land.
But he probably needs double blue. I mean,
yeah, I mean...
Jason Mind Sculptor is a pretty good card. Newsflash.
He is.
Fastball.
And here comes his second Squadron Hawk. He passes the turn.
Huh.
Without searching.
Okay, there we go.
So there's a
second red, but no green source. That's
right.
really, really bad for the Valakut
there's
player.
A Spell Pierce for Edgar to maybe capitalize on the lack of mana from Andrew.
Yeah, he can basically beat in with these Hawks.
Yeah, and just that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna
keep putting the pressure on.
Exactly. I mean, this is exactly what I was just saying before this game. The way this deck is set up, it's supposed to put on the early pressure before Valakut can get set up, and then the fact that it has Tectonic Edge to, you know, deal with the deck's namesake.
Right.
That's significant. He also notably has Sun Titan in his hand, so if the game does go a little longer, that Sun Titan can get back Tectonic Edge repeatedly.
Sure can. No, discards an Acidic Slime.
Yikes.
Man, things are not looking good for Andrew this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's Edgar's second blue source, and in with 3
Now
Hawks.
he can start Fate Sealing away if he doesn't have Jace, or if he does, he's holding up Spell Pierce.
Right on. Yeah. So there's an Evolving Wilds for Andrew. So that'll
isn't going to get him there fast enough though.
Nah, but I'm saying that'll. It's something.
Oh sure.
Right
it's
now,
a land drop. He needs anything he can get right now.
And it's a green source.
Frantic search for a forest, not the actual card,
Not
just a
frantic
literal
search,
frantic search.
But okay, so looking at Edgar's hand, from what I can tell, we've got Day of Judgment, Sun Titan, one of the swords. I feel like there's a Manalika Spell Pierce. Yeah, he's got the Spell Pierce. There he is. So, Spell Pierce is what is that? The Explorer.
Yeah.
And he tried to play. That's pretty much exactly what he's holding it for. He sees that Andrew's stuck on mana, so as soon as he tries to do something, he's gonna keep that from happening. So, Edgar says, "Fine, you can bolt one of my hawks. It's fine. I'll just replace it." Actually, this time it's I believe a Stoneforge Mystic in this case.
That's a cancel
grabs,
in his deck at the bottom of his deck. I thought I saw.
You may have. I'm not sure. But there's Stoneforge Mystic. Grabs Sword of Body and Mind. Here he goes with another attempt at Explorer, and Edgar's going to mana leak it, I think. Oh, there's a Baneslayer in his hand.
Yep. Sure is.
He says, "Yeah, mana leak it. I'm not letting you explore. I'm holding you back." So there's a second Evolving Wilds for Andrew, so he will be able to get a second green source into play here.
Seems like it's gonna be a little too late at this point.
It may be, but we'll see what
right.
happens.
Well, this deck has been known to bounce back pretty well.
Yeah. So the Stoneforge Mystic vials in a sort of Feast and Famine. Is that what that is? These swords look so similar that I.
Especially in foil. Because
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
really see
That's what throws me off.
Right. So Andrew searches up his second forest.
Yeah, that's sort of Feast and Famine.
And now he has to. He's got an opening here. He's got to take advantage of this as much as he can.
Yeah, Sword of Body and Mind faces the other way. that's the best way to.
Good call. So there's a Harrow.
So this is Andrew's tiny little window to try to dig back into this game that he was clearly very mana screwed. But you know, if any deck can sort of
can ramp
come
out
back,
of disaster,
ramp out of a mana screw, it's all of its cards are meant to ramp out of mana screw. So,
right.
Although the fact that it was significant that he did not have that green source until turn 4, turn 5, I believe. Because I believe it was turn 4 he played the Evolving Wilds, and so he didn't actually have the green until turn 5.
Right.
But Edgar trying to put on enough pressure to make an impact here. So don't equip the Stoneforge to the Squadron Hawk. That makes it a little confusing. So.
Swings without an equip, and he's going to
he's going to drop a Baneslayer. I guess, or Gideon.
Baneslayer Angel.
It says go. You
Seems pretty good.
Very likely dead next turn. Now Andrew has 5 mana. If he drops a land, he can play Inferno Titan, and that will
it'll clear out the other two dudes.
Right, stave off disaster for very. No, that's it. Yeah, I was gonna say he really can't do anything because Baneslayer could just pick up that sword. Even though she's already holding the sword, apparently she can just grab another one and double fist her own sword along with the Feast and Famine. So Edgar taking game 2, taking this matchup to a game 3.
All right, guys, no one's up here.
Now,
You want to start disassembling that? You're more than welcome.
game 1, we saw Andrew Steckley keep Edgar from playing his trump cards.
Right.
So, on paper, I think the match looks like it's Edgar's. On paper, because
Right.
I think the deck is prepared. Now, I mean, again, I'm sort of repeating myself here, but for those of you just joining us, we just saw Andrew Steckley take advantage of, or kind of take control game 1 in keeping Edgar off of the trump cards in the matchup, which was basically keeping Edgar from putting on that early pressure with Squadron Hawks and Stoneforge Mystics, and then keeping Edgar down with using a Terrastodon, keeping Edgar mana screwed a little bit, so that the Tectonic Edge that Edgar did have in play was Edgar needed to use it for mana rather than actually cracking it to deal with Andrew's Valakut. So that was game 1. Game 2, Andrew lost very much due to his mana screw.
Right.
Not to say that he wouldn't have, Edgar couldn't have beaten him otherwise, but Andrew really couldn't.
It's a pretty rough.
It was a rough
keep.
start, right?
Pretty rough keep there, but maybe he's from the Fabiano school of mulliganing.
Yeah. Who says he doesn't mulligan and then mulligans?
Mulligans in our feature match
Right.
3 times.
Yeah. But it makes it exciting. This exciting game 3. Mulligans are going to be a little more valuable, I guess, more important here, where you have to win this one. So both players going to take a look at their 7, and we'll see. Hopefully, no mulligans from either player. I'd like to see some nice, good magic here. And they're both good. All right.
Okay, Andrew starts off with Raging Ravine and passes the turn, and Edgar counters with AC Chrome Coast. Doesn't actually counter the Raging Ravine, but you know what I mean.
Adds a land to the board himself.
Thank you, Joe.
There you go.
Okay, so it looks like Jody and Bobby are going to Game 3 in other news.
So there's an Explore from Andrew and a Spell Pierce from Edgar. That's a good play right there. It's a good time to have that Spell Pierce.
Slowing down those ramp spells.
I believe Edgar has a Mana Leak as well. So Andrew playing the Terramorphic Expanse and passing turn. Edgar's going to Preordain here.
He sees, it looked like...
He's keeping them both.
Okay, yeah, Land Sword, I think is what he saw.
Yeah, so he's got
I
the
got a brief glimpse
mana.
of it, but I might be wrong.
Andrew fetching the forest, not too surprising there.
Thank you, mtgmom.com on Twitter for keeping us up to date on the other matches that are going on right now.
Right. So let's see what Andrew tries to do here with his 4 mana.
Oracle of
Moldiah.
Pretty good thing for 4 mana, and it gets Mana Leak.
Edgar has the Mana Leak, as I suspected. So
okay, never mind.
Edgar, it was a Plains that you saw.
Yeah, I saw the watermark and the reflection. Anyway.
There's a Tectonic Edge.
Tectonic Edge is going to knock out the ravine.
Yeah. And pass the turn. And again, he has Mana Leak mana up, and I believe that is Deprive in his hand. Okay, so Andrew passes the turn without a land drop. Edgar plays a Colonnade and passes the turn right back. But yeah, I believe there's a Cancel and a Deprive in Edgar's hand.
It was a cancel. I saw it earlier.
And there's a Day of Judgment. So Edgar not putting on any pressure exactly, but he's got a lot of...
he has more lands in play than the Valakut player, which...
Right. Well, not anymore.
True.
Even, but yeah, he's got notably 2 hard counters, right? He's got hard counters. That's...
He's got a second edge in his hand too, which I believe he's holding.
Just holding back, yeah.
Yeah, he's debating whether he should play it or not.
Yeah, it looked like he's trying to figure out what he wants to do here. Edgar in the tank. Or did he pass?
No,
he didn't pass.
He's trying to figure out which land to play. He's going to play the edge. There is a Sun Titan, and I think he looks like he's going to just drop it down. Gets back the other edge.
A Tectonic Edge. Now this is, it looks a very commanding position for Edgar because he's got basically 2 ways to kill any opposing Valakuts.
Yeah.
And more after that if the Sun Titan, if Andrew allows that Sun Titan to live.
Right, but again, Andrew has a window here.
Yeah, well, anytime a control player taps out, gives you a window.
And,
and there's a
hammer
Koth
comes
hammer,
down.
Right? So Koth, what's Koth going to do?
It's going to untap a land, so he can maybe explore or something. Or
pass the turn, just pumping Koth up a bit, but
I mean, if he gets that,
is that Koth going to live very long? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to save Andrew some life here, but is that Koth just a fog? You know what I mean?
Right. It seems that way. This is a Baneslayer.
Oh gosh.
Oh, activate.
Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't see the Baneslayer, but yeah, he says
so that'll kill that.
Koth, meet Colonnade, and Sun Titan will come over there and tussle with your life total. He doesn't even have anything to get back. I think he's got Mana Leak, Spell Pierce, Preordain in his graveyard there.
Things are looking pretty grim for Andrew right here.
Right, passing the turn back to Edgar, who's got pressure on the board. He can hit in for 10 right now.
He sure can.
Looks like what he's going to do. He's trying to decide what lands exactly he wants to tap here. Yeah, in for 10. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's the game.
Wow.
Edgar Flores takes it in 3.
Yeah, that's and that one at least, although it kind of seemed like Edgar really just won easily. Andrew did not, didn't mulligan, and he didn't get mana screw there. Edgar just had all the counter spells for all of Andrew's
Well, he never hit his 6th
ramps.
land drop, and he did, but that
Well,
also
I
was...
just mean it never hit his 6th land drop.